I was speaking to you over the weekend, yo, and I remember because listening to the last podcast, we was talking about Dirk or whatever. You told me you finally listened to his stuff, right?
Yeah, man, I listened to it. I had some time, so actually, I listened to it twice because the first time I listened to the deluxe and I heard the songs off of there, and for me personally, that was like a little hard to get through, just because like I wasn't prepared. Well, no, just hear me out. Just hear me out about all of it. So, like for me personally, the deluxe, it's just not for me. Like I'll just say that, and
Right.
it just is what it is. Like I don't think it's necessarily bad, but like what I will say about the actual album itself, The Voice. I think that it isn't necessarily a bad album. I think that it is. I listen to it. There's some songs on there that I like. I like the songs. I like the song with King Von the most. Still Trapping. I like the song after that with what's his name? The singer.
I can't think of. Oh, you talk about Black.
Yeah, Black. That song was good.
Oh, okay.
And to be honest, is a good song too. Like it's not a terrible album. It's just not really something that I would say I would go out of my way to listen to. You know what I mean?
I can understand that. Like, I put it this way: like Dirk can be like an acquired taste from like certain conversations I've had. Just like I told you guys, like over the weekend, I had to have a whole debate about Dirk, a couple of friends or whatever. So, and it was on the opposing side of Dirk versus another artist. So like I can understand it, but at the same, well, not at the same time, but the reality is like it's one of those things where like it's how music is just subjective, I guess. Like because like he's on pace to, I think this is like supposed to be his biggest selling album so far.
Yep, according to his a unnamed person, I think like 87,000 this past week.
Like you sold 87?
Yeah, this past week. So that's not his total sales. I think his total sales is over 100,000. But
really,
oh wow, really?
Yeah. But
it's not a bad album though, man. Like, and I'm not even like really a fan of that type of rap, and that's just not my thing. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
An album came out last weekend, or mixtape, whatever he wants to call it. But the rapper Sheisty, Gucci Mane's new artist, he dropped Sheisty Season. That's the name of the project. And he has the number one song across all genres in Apple Music and iTunes or whatever. He's actually catching a little bit of flack from this driver license girl fan base. Heard that song, by the way. The song's kind of trash. But
what happened?
The driver license song that's been getting a lot of popularity in radio play or whatever.
I don't listen to the radio, but is Sheisty song?
No. This is like some pop artist.
Nah, I'm not familiar.
Well, anyway, Sheisty's Back in Blood. That song's number one, and Sheisty tweeted about it, and then some people are going off on him because they're like, "Oh, your song's not even that good," and the driver license girl's about to carry you, all this other shit. Anyway, I listened to the Sheisty Season album. It sounds like one big ass song.
Exactly what I said too.
There's a couple songs where it's kind of like, oh, I could listen to this, but hopefully in his first foray into the mainstream world of rap music, he learns from the mistakes and has a better beat selection second time around. I think he needs to improve on his rapping. And I'm not expecting much from him, but if people want him to be on like a bigger level, he needs to, improve his lyricism a bit more. But the song Back in Blood ain't that bad, but it is a little overrated.
Nah, that joint is hard, bro.
The beat is garbage. It's garbage. Is
bro, but sometimes that's I think sometimes like when the beat isn't like oversaturated with stuff, it makes it sometimes even better. It helps for an artist sometimes. So like
yes,
like you can have like a barely anything on a beat. Like I'm quite sure many people say what's the song, Numbers on the Board?
Yeah,
that song's hard.
Yeah, but there's some people that probably think that beat is horrible.
The beat is not that great, but since Pusha T can actually rap, and when he's rapping, it's like, oh, it's, very entertaining. There's a difference, there's some Drake beats where the beats that Drake raps on are not that great. And I'm not trying to connect the two. I know they have, but they're just not that great. But since it's Drake rapping on them, it's like the song is actually not that bad. But this Pooh Shiesty thing, man, I think Lil Durk saved him on that fucking song. Because if it wasn't for Lil Durk, that song would have been boring. The chorus is all right though. The chorus is the most catchy part for as Pooh Shiesty's part. But I think Lil Durk had the better verse overall.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you there. Like Durk had the better verse on it. Like I mean, for real, like the highlight of that song is Pooh Shiesty, but I'm really Sheisty. Like that is like that is the highlight of that song. So I get that, but I'm not gonna hold you. Like I got on the Pooh Shiesty probably about a week ago, or like a week before the album came out. My man's put me on to him or whatever, and straight up, like I rock with it. Like I like his album. I think I do agree though, his album is just one big song. When it comes to artists like that, I look at it the same and under the same breath of like a Black Youngster or something like that, where it's like I don't expect much, right? Or it's like I know you're only going to give me so much, and he's a young artist. So like a young artist like him right now, for real, I don't think he needs to change his sound for the time being. To be honest with you, I don't think he needs to, because it's when he's just starting it off, he's just trying to build a name for himself across the board. So you put out, it's just more about right now, it's more about being visual, where people are able to see him like, oh, I'm hearing the song. Listen, it's hard to tell someone, yo, Chain, you need to switch it up when you got the number one song over like everybody. You feel me? Even regardless if it's Durk or not on the song. So, and I think him and Durk might have a project coming out soon anyway. So better get that back in the blood.
I haven't heard Pooh Shiesty yet, but I remember a long time ago, me and Lau have known each other for quite a bit of time, and he put me onto another Gucci Mane artist with another crazy ass name, and his name was Waka Flocka. And little did I know that there was going to be a period in time where his name was actually going to be pretty relevant. So
legendary artist, legendary artist.
I'm going to give him a listen, and I'm going to have to check back in on that one.
Let me tell you. Let's remind ourselves of this, right? The same way you can criticize Pooh Shiesty for lyricism.
Yeah.
A legend of such as Waka Flocka once said, 2 words. It's like, I love the trap.
A lot of cuss.
It's like, yo.
Oh,
like,
God.
Like, I mean, it's one of those things. And plus, now I'm forgetting all about it. But now that you say that, I mean, whether you like it or not, I mean, he was found by Gucci. So I think Gucci, hands down, may be one of the best ears in rap music, especially.
The legendary cosign.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. I watched like the first 5 minutes of his Breakfast Club interview. And he was like, yeah, like Gucci just hit me up out of nowhere in the middle of the night, like 3-4 in the morning. Started going back and forth in DMs. He was like, yo, I like your music. I want to sign you. And apparently Gucci only heard one song of his.
Yep.
He was like, Gucci heard one song and was like, I want to sign you. So
yeah, I mean, Gucci sees something that, that we all don't see, of course, but I'm not saying Pooh Shiesty's bad. I think there's definitely potential, but the dude needs some work. You know what I mean?
You're just not a fan of his music right now.
No, okay, yeah, we could just say that.
He was about to say, I'm not a fan of his music at all. But
we could say that. But I'll give Pooh Shiesty a chance. Like, whenever he drops the second project, whatever, I'll give it a chance. Like, it wasn't like I'll listen to Shiesty Season, I'm like, oh, this is utter garbage, toilet, I'm gonna wipe my ass with this shit. No, I wasn't like that at all. Maybe I was just being too critical of it because, I was expecting something more since it's the Gucci cosign,
But it's like since 99, though, we're not listening to him being like, oh, he's about to be like the next dude. You know what I mean?
Right, but he does have the Gucci cosign.
That's very true. You're right about that.
But see, even then, like it's one of those things like you learn like, oh, some artists just fit their own pocket, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like I'm quite sure like I was watching something about Chief Keef the other day, and I'm quite sure like literally the legend of like drill music at this point. Like it's so crazy to think 10 years ago he was like just breaking out onto the scene.
Yeah.
Like it's just that thing of reception where it's like, this is trash. Now, granted, Pooh Shiesty could be gone tomorrow and we never hear from him again. But like, I think the thing that really, it'd be interesting to see how his career goes. I'll say that because from looking up some of the stuff about his music, you could tell a lot of his music is based off of like his life, his real life things happening. So
sounds like he's talking sometimes instead of rapping, and I think that's something he may have to work on.
Listen, man, that might just be the new style. For real, for
People
real.
say the same thing about Currency sometimes. And we like Currency.
Y'all do.
Spence is a known Currency hater on the podcast.
That's
listeners.
not a hater.
Yes.
For multiple episodes, he's hated on Currency.
God forbid it. God forbid someone have an opinion, man. Just because you like it don't mean it can't be trash. You know what I mean? It's like if you was walking around with like a really funny look, if you was walking around with like flies coming out your shoes, I'm not gonna be like, yo. I'm not gonna be saying nothing crazy. I'm just like, yo, that's his style.
He's alluding to another story that was on the podcast, listeners, to deflect his hate for Currency.
That's
if
not
you really
want
to go back, it happened in like the first 10 episodes. Our audio was a lot worse than what it is right now.
God, it was. It surely was. Like, I mean, but even then though, like I've been to a Currency concert. Like, I just don't think
who invited you there? A Currency fan.
Dave East.
This guy right here.
Okay, Rob Van Dam.
Speaking of wrestling, I heard somebody was trying to get into that.
Man, tell that boy don't even put out his last album and go get the hookup from Master P first.
Man, how do you like the one of the corniest rappers of our lifetime? Like the dude he's
a legend though.
He is
for anybody listening who's wondering who we're talking about Lil Bow Wow.
I mean, yeah, legend, but just just a corny
cornballs. What you're saying?
Just a corny dude. Like I have the thing is I don't have a problem with him. I don't think anybody should have a problem with him wanting to like pursue some happiness if he wants to go on pro wrestling and have a little bit of fun there. But if he's like, hey, yeah, this is my real life career, this is what I want to do, and you guys will know me as, Bow Wow and pro wrestling. It's just kind of like, dude, like we're not going to tune in to really watch you have a wrestling career. It's just going to be kind of like a gimmick. You know what I mean? It's like watching Shaquille O'Neal wrestle. We know like, hey, this is just some special attraction. This is not he's not a full-time wrestler,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I think Bow Wow has always been an interesting case anyway. Like he's really been like a case study of like child rappers in hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, because you remember before, like he had like this whole thing about wanting to commit suicide and telling people like, don't ever get into this industry. Like he has like some scars, I guess. And I don't know. I think it's just, I guess his growing pains. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it a bug with you. Ain't nobody trying to see that. Like all jokes aside, like I mean, I get it. I respect it because it's like, okay, maybe this is something you want to do. More than likely, it's trying to find a way to collect the bag. Definitely during COVID times. I'd rather see him on AEW and him go against Matt Hardy. Like that match Matt Hardy had, I would put him in one of those extreme environments and I'll watch that. I'll watch it all day. I'll watch that more than I'll watch 50 Cent versus Floyd. I'll tell you that right now.
Go ahead, Lon.
No, nothing. I was just sighing. When he said 50 Cent versus Floyd, I was like, it just reminded me of how dark boxing could be. You know what I mean? So,
well,
50 Cent gave him his first L. So,
You know, I don't really have any, intention of watching Lil Bow Wow wrestle anywhere. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like, it's cool. I'd rather see Floyd versus any of the three people he's supposed to be fighting this year than Lil Bow Wow wrestle. And shouts out to him if that's what he really wants to do. But I don't care.
What if he does 50? What if it's
all of them
Floyd,
in a tag team match?
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather
in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, who do you think would win out of, like, if you put a bunch of rappers in an Elimination Chamber? Who do you think will win? No Guns.
We're gonna put Floyd, both the Paul brothers, Rob Gronkowski because he used to wrestle.
No, I'm saying rappers.
Or 50 Cent, and after that, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what I would do with that.
It just depends on which rappers are going to be locked in the chamber. Only one man can survive.
What if Gucci's locked in there live? Who do you want him to go against? Do you want him to be first out of the Elimination Chamber?
Man.
Old Gucci.
Old Gucci, he might not even follow the rules. He might, you know what I mean?
He needs his weapon of choice. Like,
yeah.
He's gonna pull it from underneath the ring. Like.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, man.